we've got Mike Mooneyham of the Post and Courier on the line. If he'll just hang with us, we're going to go to the short plug, and then we'll be back with Mike Mooneyham.
Hit the Ropes Radio is all over the internet, ladies and gentlemen. We're on MySpace, Facebook, and YouTube. MySpace.com/Hit the Ropes Radio Show. Join the Facebook group and YouTube.com/Hit the Ropes Radio. Spread the word. Tell your friends. Join in.
All right, we're back. And now we're going to go to Mr. Mike Mooneyham. Hello, Mike, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, Mike, how's it going?
Pretty good, pretty good.
Good. We've also got our other co-hosts on the line, Demetrius and Shane, and we were just previewing TNA and how they've been progressing or not progressing. Before we get into WrestleMania, what are your thoughts on TNA? Have you been watching it? Is it where do you think they're staying? Are they moving forward, or they back? The ratings have always obviously been up, but product is it moving forward?
To me, and I haven't watched every minute of it, but they seem to be making some real elementary mistakes in their booking. And some of the storylines are pretty convoluted. What they did to Samoa Joe, I think that hurt a lot. I think Samoa Joe was really the franchise player a year or two ago, and he's not now. They've kind of built upon old talent, the old star power, but they really haven't done much to elevate some of the younger guys in that company. And I think some pretty bad angles have had a lot to do with that.
I agree. They seem to be pushing him, as of late. It seems that Jeff hinted that the main event Mafia is on its last leg. So hopefully soon, it probably won't be as soon as lockdown, but hopefully they're in the motions of killing it off and promoting the AJ Styles, Samoa Joes, and bringing back Christopher Daniels.
Yeah, I certainly hope so. I mean, they're making a lot of mistakes that WCW did in its latter years, and too much of the main event Mafia stuff. They could have looked back at the NWO and see how too much of that really hurt WCW at the end. Right,
definitely. Well, let's talk a little bit about the big event of this past evening, WrestleMania 25. It was the silver anniversary, if you would. You think with the 25th anniversary, you think biggest ever. Overall, did it live up to your expectations?
My expectations are always very high for any WrestleMania, but with it being WrestleMania 25, I'd hoped for a little bit more. Certainly, the Shawn Michaels Undertaker match was one for the ages, but to me, it was basically a one-match show. I mean, nothing came close to it. I didn't really like the Legends angle. I thought that was completely botched at the end, and it continued. It just lost steam each and every week.
Right.
The Triple H Randy Orton match, that was sort of a disappointment. I thought Randy Orton should have been crowned champion. I'm sure he will, really soon, and I hope it's not at the next pay-per-view, because I absolutely hate a champion being able to lose his title in a match like that. But
right.
I think that WrestleMania 25 should have been the crowning moment for someone. And once again, the Taker Michaels match was certainly the highlight of the show. But a new champion should have been crowned, and it should have been Randy Orton's time to really take it to the next level, and they didn't do it. I know they like to send everyone home happy at the end of WrestleMania, but put the match on. Don't Don't put that match on last. Randy Orton should have been champion. And the whole card was, WrestleMania is always a great event. It's just everything surrounding it is really done well. And most of the matches on the show were pretty good. But, for WrestleMania 25, that should have been a little bigger deal. And I'm no huge fan of Hulk Hogan, as you probably know. But, yeah, I think he should have been it. That's the one he should have been there, in any capacity, Hogan should have been on that card. It's 25 years. And I was glad to see guys like Snuka and Piper on the show since they were on the inaugural WrestleMania.
Right.
But they absolutely should not have been in a ring wrestling. That was pretty embarrassing.
Yeah, it's been to me.
Steamboat, a lot of people are telling Steamboat that he still got it. Weren't you a little impressed with what Ricky put on in the ring?
Look, I thought Ricky was probably next to Taker and Shawn. He was probably the most over guy on the show, and he did a wonderful job. It was Snuka and Piper that really, physical problems and other things considered, you shouldn't have put them in a ring. They should have certainly been honored. They should have been a big part of the show. But you don't want those guys in there just getting beat up for a minute or so. They deserve more than that. But Ricky Steamboat, he was just, he was awesome. He showed how things can be done. And, I think he's probably better than 3/4 of the roster as far as ring work's concerned. He really dazzled a lot of people, and it was wonderful to see him. I mean, it was great. I thought he probably even did better in the ring the following night on Raw.
Yeah, it seemed like the WrestleMania match was just centered around showing that Steamboat still has it with his, leaps off the top, his deep arm drag.
Yeah, 15 years almost after his last match, and he still does things like that. Had he not had his back injury back then, he could have had so many more productive years in the ring. But Ricky's a good guy, and I think the fans today need an old-style babyface like Ricky was. Steve Austin was great, sort of the anti-babyface superstar back in the Attitude Era. But I think now, especially in these, tough economic times and with so many crooks out there,
right.
I think Ricky probably projects an image that is sorely lacking in the business today. One of a very polite, do things the right way kind of baby face that they just don't have anymore. Even the baby faces like Cena and those guys, they're not the traditional baby face. Some of the language is a little salty, some of the jokes are a little off color, some of the way they do things. But with Steamboat, I mean, you're getting a real baby face, traditional old school baby face who just projects a very positive image, and I think the wrestling business needs that today. And I hope Vince took notes, because I think somebody like him could really get a very big following now and become a top baby face in the company.
Right. Go ahead, Demetrius.
Oh, now, Mike, I want to go back to something you said previously, and I want to thank you, because you made a statement that I made on this show a couple weeks ago, and my co-host pretty much let me have it for saying it, and I said that Hulk Hogan should be involved in WrestleMania 25. I made the argument that, if there were no Hulk Hogan, that we might not be at a WrestleMania 25. So I'm not going to be on the show with you guys long because I have a previous engagement. But I wanted to thank you for saying that. And in your face, Shane, Hulk Hogan could have been at WrestleMania 25.
Yeah, I think, he should have gotten his due in some form or fashion. It just seemed, that show seemed a little naked without Hogan on it.
Now, why do you think
do you think it's because of the recent surgery, or maybe he and Vince couldn't come to a number? Do you have any idea why he wasn't at the show? Because I